Yeah, all good. Rob, thank you for joining us. After a rare weekend off, we're back on the road this weekend as we travel to Peterborough. Can I get your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, it's going to be should be a good game. Peterborough play some really good football. They're expansive, got a lot of young players, a lot of energy, and yeah, it's going to be a difficult game, but one we're looking forward to. I think our mindset is just to enjoy the challenge every time we come up against these so-called bigger clubs and the experiences and the travel. And I think it's another good. It's going to be another good day for the club and another good day for us in terms of going and challenging ourselves against what is a very well-established League One Championship club over the last few years.
Yeah, and did the sort of rare weekend off give any sort of extra help to the players? Obviously, we saw them heading down to the gym to get some work in on what was meant to be match day, but do you think this would be of any benefit to us?
Do you know what? You sort of yes and no. You always want to keep going, keep the momentum going, but missing 10 days between the games, not the end of the world. Means we have a little bit more rest as well. Obviously Tuesday was a massive effort against Charlton, so you can look at it two ways. You get a bit of extra rest, and the lads have trained really well yesterday. They worked hard on Saturday and in the gym, and the attitude was tremendous considering you get yourself geared up for a game and then it gets called off, but and rightly so, obviously with the conditions we saw all over the country. It was horrendous. So we just got to make sure we take all that little bit of extra energy we was able to conserve and use it on Saturday.
Yeah, is there a sort of difficult decision to be made when, the decision was made as early as it possibly could, but naturally at 10 o'clock on a Saturday, it is quite late notice in terms of you are in match day mode. Is it quite a difficult decision to decide, where to go? Do you just sort of call it off, get the players to stop travelling in before they leave, or is it an easy decision to sort of still come in and get some work done?
Yeah, it makes sense because obviously everyone's preparing to come in for, say, 12:30, 1 o'clock anyway, so very fortunate with the gym that with Ricky speaking to the guys at the gym who managed to get us in, which was brilliant of them. So we just kept the same schedule, but then obviously just went to the gym instead of the game. So obviously was made aware a little bit before it was called off that there might be a potential that the game would be off. So we just have sort of a bit of planning, and then with the conditions, there was no way you could go and train anywhere because it was bad enough that the game's called off. You're not going to be able to train, so we just thought the best thing to do was give the lads a tough gym session. They worked in groups of teams and stuff like that, so it's a bit of team bonding, and just get that sort of spike of as close as you can to a Saturday. So yeah, and then the lads get the sort of the little bit of an extra weekend to themselves, and sort of you've got to look at the positives really. A little bit more time with family and give the bodies a little bit more time to rest, and a couple of injured players a bit longer to recover, ready for maybe when the game's rearranged. Yeah,
and on the flip side of that, Peterborough had a later game than the Saturday. Obviously they played on Monday night, losing to Northampton. So do you think that has any potential benefit, or is that just sort of a myth that we haven't played and they've sort of played on the Monday?
Yeah, I think you can read into it too much sometimes. When you're winning every week, Saturday, Tuesday can't come quick enough. When you're not doing so well, Saturday, you want it to be even longer. So, no, I don't think there's too much in it. I think obviously, they did lose on Monday, but I don't think it was a case of... I didn't think it was a poor defeat. I thought they were excellent. Obviously, they had a couple of good chances. They could have got something from the game, and I think they've always been competitive. They've always been high goals. They've always been high goal scoring. Create a lot of chances individually and as collective as a team. The way they play, they do obviously concede a lot of chances as well. But that's more the nature of their play. Obviously Darren's been there for years. He's a legend there, and he develops young players, takes them from non-league, and they're probably one of the best in the last 5-10 years of developing talent, especially the attacking players. It'd be really good. It'd be a really good test for us to go there and sort of try and give another good account of ourselves like we did at Charlton. I just think the most important thing is that we set the bar in terms of where our physical output is, and sort of the metrics we want to hit, because Charlton was physically our best performance of the season, and it coincides with a fantastic win. And I think the lads are... what we're asking them to do in training, the way we're asking them to train, the type of runs we want them to make, the lads are really grasping that and taking it in their stride, and it's adding to the performances and the results.
Thank you. Looking at the table, Peterborough are one of the teams you can actually go above if you win on Saturday. It is insanely tight, that table, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's carnage really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think the table never really settles down till probably February, because again, January the window opens and it becomes crazy again, because a lot of changes, teams will strengthen, they'll lose players, whatever it may be. So the big thing for us, and especially for myself and my experiences in football, is you just have to look at game on game. You know, you don't have a peek at the table really, because it doesn't really mean anything. You know, I think we've gone from nearly mid-table to fourth, fifth bottom, whatever it's been the last few days, without even playing a game. So it doesn't take away from the work we've done, the run we've been on. But I think what's probably good, and I'm really pleased for the lads especially, is that all their hard work, they're now caught up with the big bunch in front of us. You know, it was at one point it was a little bit detached, and now there's probably up until 10th or something. I think there's like 5 points. I can't remember exactly the exact details, but it's something like that. And that's obviously good for the lads, because I think it gives them confidence going into games, that they can really start to see the positives from the results and the points, and start seeing themselves catch up and feel like they're in the pack, rather than sort of always looking up.
Yeah, they've got Poku, their top scorer. He's out for 3 months now, apparently. What other sort of dangers have they got on the pitch at Peterborough?
I mean, to be honest with you, I think it depends on what they go with. They go with the 2 strikers, they play with the 10. I think the thing with Peterborough is they can score from anywhere, you know, especially from wide areas. When they isolate you, they try and switch the ball and isolate it in wide areas. So our 1v1 battles have got to be really good. And in terms of balls coming in the box as well, they get the ball in, but they don't just put the ball in there, they put it in with real quality. So look, there's not really one particular person. Obviously, Poku's a massive miss, because anyone would miss their top goal scorer. But I think the strength of Peterborough is the fact that they've got so many players that can come in and that can affect it. And I think the big thing for us is that, you know, we have to, not only do we want to try and hurt them, but first and foremost we've got to try and nullify them and respect what they can do and how good they are in possession. And they play through the thirds really well. They can be direct, but mainly through possession play. So when they are direct, it's usually more controlled than it is sort of percentage, if that makes sense. So no, it's going to be a real tough game for us, really tough game for us. And but one I think I'm looking forward to, is I think it'll be a good game of football. Both 2 teams that play good football. Yeah,
and injury-wise for yourselves, anybody due back?
Dion and Junior have trained. This is their first full week back in training. Don't know if it'll be too early to see them on Saturday, but going into the Christmas period, it'll be brilliant to have them back within the squad. It's obviously like Dion's been out. Obviously, he's been really unlucky with his injury. Had a setback 6-7 weeks ago, just as we come in actually. But he was on the training pitch, and you can see his quality. And obviously, being the captain, he's been at all the games, and he's been brilliant around the dressing room as well. And Junior, you know, we've seen glimpses. I say not even glimpses actually. We've seen his real quality and what he can bring to the team. And Junior's worked really hard with Ricky in the gym, and he's you know, physically he's in a fantastic shape. You know, he's put on weight. He's working hard. He's working on the things he needs to work on to make himself more robust, because we know he's got the quality. So to be able to have sort of our captain back and have sort of Junior back in the attacking option, it's going to be brilliant for us. But we'll just have to assess Saturday and see if that's viable or not, because we don't want to rush them back too much and miss out on them, especially with the amount of games that are coming up in the next few weeks or so.
Yeah, when Dion does come back, it's going to be some tough decisions for you. Obviously, good decisions to have, because Joy, Charlie, and Toby have all been magnificent so far, haven't they? And obviously, Josh was very good before his unfortunate injury. It's going to be some tough decisions, isn't it?
Yeah, there is, but that's the nature of it. But you know, I don't think they're even tough at this moment in time. It's not going to be tough decisions when you've got 5 games in 11 days. So I think it's probably perfect timing for us as a squad, because we probably needed, you know, Toby, Joy and Charlie have probably played too much in terms of we couldn't even rest them for some of the Bristol Street Motors games, etc. So and obviously the only reason Toby missed the game was because of the suspension. So yeah, but no, the challenge is there, isn't it, for the lads? Don't you do well, you stay in the team, don't you let yourself come out of the team? And obviously we know what an excellent player Dion is, and obviously the qualities he brings. So for me, it's not so much of a tough decision, but just knowing that we've got a stronger squad and that there's more depth, because we know we're going to need it because of just the nature of this league. And yeah, like we've seen with Flinty, he was exceptional for us before his injury. You just don't know what's around the corner. So the stronger the squad, the fitter the squad. The better place we'll be in.
Yeah, and obviously January's coming around soon. Have you put a shopping list in yet? Or and another question on top of that is Louis going to be added to the squad? You said last week what a good player he is, Louis Story. Is he going to be added to the squad in January, do you think? I
don't know. I think with Louis, he's picked up an injury actually in training, so we'll see how he is, because he joins in when he can. I think with Louis, it'll be a case of where the squad's at by the end of the window. And if he can be added to the squad, if there's space, then we probably would. But that's probably like, you know, Louis is very selfless. Like, that's not the priority, if that makes sense. And I think he's enjoying the journey in terms of stepping up with his coaching. But we'll assess that sort of when it comes to January and where the squad is. But no, look, I think for everyone, you want to you want to try and improve the squad, and you want to try and help in areas where we are lacking, where the depth isn't as strong. But I think that that comes with obviously balance as well, with finances and where we're at as a club in terms of what we need, because I don't think we've really had a chance to see this squad fully develop yet, because it was such a new squad coming together, so many new changes and so many young players. So hopefully the next few games in the build up to Christmas, we can see the squad, the team keep developing, and then whatever we do in January can just add to the momentum and add to the lads, so that we can keep moving forward and not disrupt it too much.
Yeah, and last question from me. Saturday, obviously, the game was called off because of the weather and that, but one of the reasons was the East Stand, the temporary nature of it. The club's Supporters Alliance yesterday put out a call to the landlord, the council, to say, can we have some proposals for a permanent structure there? It'd be great to see that, wouldn't it, here, having a permanent structure on that side of the ground?
Yeah, I think so, and obviously it's one of them ones, it's another step to, I suppose, where the club wants to get to in terms of, being in a league like this consistently, and then obviously developing the club not just on the pitch but off it. And we know that it's not going to be something that happens instantly. It's not going to happen within a few weeks, that we can just snap our fingers and we can become an established League One club with all the facilities that the clubs have. But as long as we can just keep getting a little bit better every day or every week and every season, then I suppose that's all we can ask. But yeah, I think it's the intent to want to improve, which is, since I've been in, that's all that's been spoken about, and I've seen it myself in terms of we're trying to make the club a little bit better. We don't always have the resources to make it instantly, but I think as long as the mentality's there, then that's all you can ask for.
Brilliant, thanks Rob. Good luck, Saturday.